Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Fierce Friday. Today is July 5th. Hope you had a beautiful holiday. And today we're going to be sharing all about a brand new product called Menopositive. So we're going to be talking about the symptoms of menopause and how we can really enhance this time in our lives and really have the best experience, because let's face it, we hear all kinds of stories about how hard it is, or the hot flashes, or maybe the not so fun symptoms of this time of life, but we can enhance our nutrition so that we can have the best possible experience and outcome at any phase in our life. And so that's what's so beautiful about what we have to share here. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and ask Elle if you'll go ahead and read our pledge to us today. I'm going to bring up the slide. Take it away.
Alrighty. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. Yes. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environmental of future generations. I am committed to sharing the movement of many. I am the Million Mom movement. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Would you like to share what this movement means to you?
Well, I'm not a mom, but we act as mothers. Yeah, I am a caregiver for my father. So learning from my mom and trying to be better in and not be temperamental and understand like every situation that is thrown at me. I try to step back. Um, I learned the power of silence so that I can save myself from any other blow ups or disasters. Because every like my cousin Pomai always says, everything happens for you, not to you. So this is inspiring me to, yes, be prepared for any situation as a mom, as a daughter, or as an auntie. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate hearing your voice on here. Wonderful. So we're going to go right into some information that we have here. Unity, were you able to find an in the news piece that is satisfactory?
Um, I did not see one that I got to thoroughly vet. So
Okay. Would you like to just take it away with some of your knowledge and expertise? Because I know you're on a really tight schedule.
sure. Thanks so much for having me. It's always just a real pleasure to join this group that I learned so much from the presentations here. So I really, really appreciate. So with the menopositive formula, I love the way that each of these 5 ingredients is classically used for thousands of years, so we know a lot about them. So I'll just go ingredient by ingredient. The first one, chaste tree berry or Vitex. I have used this one myself in the context of, so a little bit of history about me so you can see how I used it. My cortisol was bottom lined, and when cortisol is low, it steals the reserves. It's called cortisol steal from making the other hormones. So my estrogen was bottomed out, my progesterone was bottomed out, but progesterone was still lower than estrogen. So there was a relative estrogen dominance. So I used the chaste tree berry because it modulates how the body is able to access the estrogen and progesterone. So at medium doses, it not only helps support progesterone production, but it also makes the progesterone receptors more sensitive to what progesterone is there. So you don't have to dump in a huge amount of progesterone exogenously to get this support. You get this gentle support and you make the most use of what your body is making. Now, I'll mention that at higher doses, there's actually a little bit of a reverse process where the estrogen is more supported. So I so appreciate the way that David doses in the formulas, not just getting these key classical ingredients that we know to be very helpful for hormones through the generations, but also really careful dosing so that nothing is overdriven. So that's Vitex. The second one, Black Cohosh, so great for hot flashes. Some people use just this one and see great results with their hot flashes, but in this combination, you're going to get the synergy of the different effects. So again, just really classical herbs used here. Dongquai, Dongwei, a very powerful herb in the Chinese medicine tradition. It moves the blood and qi, and so helps with the circulation, helps with the essences in the blood. And then the one note of caution for me with my history of relative estrogen dominance, this herb I would not use alone. In formulas, you get the balance, and also you're able to use smaller amounts of each one. And so there's less of the concern of using one single herb alone. But Dongui, with if I were to overdo that one, then my estrogen dominance would worsen things like irregular bleeding, which I was having already. I'm menopausal now, but it would have worsened my irregular bleeding. It would have worsened my polyps. It would have worsened my overgrowth of my endometrial lining. So it's really nice to use these powerful herbs in a nice balanced formula like this, so that the moderate doses can still give a good effect. Red clover, many uses. And among them is the hormone balancing and menopausal effects, but also many other great medicinal uses of red clover. And then the final one, American ginseng. So there are mainly 3 types of ginseng, and the Korean ginseng is hot. It can overdrive your system. It's very strong, especially if you have hypertension or you run hot, which many menopausal women do already. The Chinese ginseng is warm, so a little less extreme, but still not well suited for a lot of people. Now, the American ginseng is safe for pretty much everyone. It's slightly cool. It doesn't overdrive the blood pressure, but it does support the adrenals, which is so important during this time in the menopausal life, or for many people. I mean, I took American ginseng before I was menopausal. So I love this combination of herbs. And I'm just remembering a couple of important questions that came up from last time that I want to revisit. I want to mention with dosing. So I love that David is safe with his doses, so that it is okay to feel into it and try it and really tune in and see how it works with your body. It's not going to blow your system out because it is gentle dosing. But always tuning in to see, oh, how did my symptoms change? And in the days of old, when the masters were learning about the herbs, you would first be around the plant, and then you touch it and you rub it and you see what happens. And then you rub it against your lips and see what happens. You put it on your tongue and you hold it in your mouth and you feel that out before you even get to swallowing. But we don't have to do all those steps. We can, but really tune in. Ooh, did my gut react? Within that day, within the next couple of days, just really tune in to the subtle things like my mood, my sleep, my level of heat or coldness, my energy, of course. And if you find that your body is like, I'm not sure about this, then back off. And sometimes it's a matter of just dosing lighter. Some people need a half a capsule of something. And if your body is like a yes, then you can continue. Somebody else asked about what happens if you are already on prescription hormones. Like, how do I transfer over to natural substances? And I would say that if you are on prescription level hormones, then it's a really good idea to work with a knowledgeable practitioner. When I do prescription hormones, I like to monitor the hormone levels by labs because you don't want to overshoot and you don't want to undershoot. So, this is a situation where labs are really useful to tune in how to gently and safely transfer over and see if the natural substances are getting you to where you need to be with the hormone levels. Um, because everybody's body will process differently and have specific different starting points. So you really want to individualize your dosing if you're at the level where you are needing those strong levels. Anything else that you remember from last time that I should touch on?
Oh my gosh, there's so much great information shared just right now. And you touched on some of the great questions that came in last time. We do have a new question from Karen about would this still work for women that have had a total hysterectomy?
Yeah, great question. So with the total hysterectomy, especially if your ovaries were already removed as well, then your hormone levels will likely be really extra low. And so you can really utilize the support. And I really love that it's not just like estrogen, 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 like as I mentioned, the chaste tree is also helping the progesterone. And there are other effects too. It's not all about these single things. It's like the whole synergistic effect that the plants give us. So yes, you can. If your uterus was removed due to masses causing bleeding, then no worries. If your uterus was removed due to cancer, then we're a little bit more careful about anything that affects the hormones.
Wonderful. And does it help to get rid of excess estrogen by taking this menopositive?
Does it help to get rid of excess estrogen? Are you talking about um, estrogen being too high on lab values or symptoms of excess estrogen, or like I was, everything was low, but the estrogen was relatively dominant? I would say, so I haven't gotten a chance to try this one yet, but I would say again, really tune in because everybody's body is a little bit different. I am used to using the dosing a little bit differently. So I don't have personally experience yet with this particular combination and dosing. So based on your symptoms of excess estrogen, really tune in and see how those symptoms respond. If you have any particular concerns, I would say start lightly. Like it's saying 30 drops. You can, even if you are super, super sensitive to things, you can hold one drop under your tongue and just really tune in. Like sometimes when there's a food that I don't react well to, as soon as the food touches my mouth, my stomach does something, you know. So just just building that sensitivity, um, and then increasing gradually and noting that. Um, and then sometimes I don't know if the person uh, asking the question has measured their levels, but sometimes we assume that something is due to excess estrogen, but the symptoms of not enough estrogen can look a lot like the symptoms of excess estrogen. So I'm not sure of your particular details. So I don't have a simple answer for you. Really tune in, and all those other things, such as exercise and lots of vegetables, and all those things are part of the plan as well for excess estrogen or any kind of hormonal imbalance.
Absolutely. I love that. And, so much has to do with our nutrition and what we're doing, how we're taking care of our bodies on a daily basis, meal by meal, because what is at the end of our fork or our spoon is really what determines our overall health, right? And taking something like the Menopositive to help balance our hormones has a really great effect in combination with the nutrients we're putting into our body. And so I'm really grateful for you, Dr. Unity. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to share? I know that you've got a tight schedule, so I want to allow you to step away if you need to.
Well, I will mention that I think the hormonal support is extra needed at this time in history because there are so many stressors and insults to our hormonal balance. Um, Speaking of stressors, stress. And who isn't stressed, and that totally throws off all the hormones. Yes. Yeah. And then drinking out of soft plastic bottles that got hot sitting in the car. And so many of the products that we put on our skin that soak through the skin readily and throw off the hormones, additives to the foods. So we just, many of us have symptoms when we hit menopause, and I think that the modern day lifestyle is part of it. And so extra support is just very welcome, and I love that I can trust the sourcing that Purium and David offer us, and just again the really thoughtful combinations. Looking at David's other products, when I went into the Purium world, I studied every single ingredient of every single product. And more, I was just like, wow, this stuff is nicely balanced. So I'm really excited that David is offering this Menopositive. I think it'll help a lot of people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Unity. And like you said, we are always coming in contact with these things that stress our hormones, right? Like you mentioned, the plastics and the foods and the additives and the preservatives and all of these things that we don't even realize we're inundated on a daily basis with, the lotions we put on our bodies or, all of the things constantly bombarded with things that stress out our hormones. And so having something this simple to balance our hormones and bring us back into a balanced state is really important so that we can live a less stressed life, right? Because let's face it, stress is a hormone. When we're stressed, then we're overwhelmed, then things don't always go right. We're like doing things too fast and maybe even being forgetful in that time. And it affects everything in our life. So when our hormones are out of balance, then everything else is a little bit more stressful. And so let's balance our hormones and hone it in so that way we can live a more fulfilled life and really give our body the tools it needs so that we can function optimally. And so thank you so much, Dr. Unity, for coming on. I really appreciate your presence here. Always feel free to hop on and share with us. And I'm going to go ahead and share a screen here. Let me just pull it up and share some slides with you all that was made for Amy's presentation last week. And just such great information. And so what is menopause? So menopause is a natural biological process that marks the end of women's menstrual cycles and reproductive years, right? That's what we know it as. Well, it also has so many other things that come with going through this phase of life. It's a diagnosed after women hasn't had her period for 12 consecutive months. The transition leading up to menopause is called perimenopause, and it can last several years. I learned last week that it could last from your 40s all the way into your 60s, which is, a long span of our life and something to really pay attention to, as we don't want to be miserable for 20 years of our life. So let's take the precautions to really balance our hormones and feel optimal during this entire phase that we go through. It occurs when the ovaries gradually produce less estrogen and progesterone, causing hormonal imbalances, which Dr. Unity just spoke on. It is a natural biological transition, not a disease state that requires medical treatment unless symptoms are severe. Menopause signals the end of women's fertility and the ability to become pregnant naturally. And the average age of menopause onset is 51 in the United States, though it can happen anytime between ages 40 to 58. So depending on, your own health, your body may go into menopause sooner or later than other women in your community. Perimenopause symptoms can be managed by making lifestyle changes. Think of the symptoms as your body's way of crying out for love, help, and attention. So it's a great time to go into an ultimate lifestyle transformation. Really flood your body with nutrients, flood your body, give yourself the love that you need, the nutrients that you need to really have your optimal health, your optimal hormones balanced, everything like that. And you can add in this menopositive product into any ultimate lifestyle transformation package of your choice. So it really does synergistically work with the other superfoods that we, consume with our lifestyle transformation. So Dr. Unity did talk a little bit on this. And if you want to pipe back in, Unity, you're welcome to come back on at any time, but I know you're super busy with your clients. So Dong Quai has been used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine for hormonal balance. So some people call it Dong Quai, Dong Quai. There's different pronunciations, but the main thing is that this is a really phenomenal herb that has been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine. So the mechanism of action behind its efficacy involves the activation of estrogen receptors for efficient use of the body's own natural hormones. This is confirmed by clinical studies illustrating the root can effectively reduce hot flash intensity and frequency. Donkey or Donggi is also known as Angelica sensicis, is a perennial herb native to China. TCM practitioners, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, sometimes refer to it as the female ginseng or women tonic due to its traditional use in women's health. Donkey contains phytoestrogens, which are plant-based compounds that can mimic the effects of estrogen in the body to some extent. This estrogenic activity may help regulate the hormonal imbalances in females, but more research is necessary. Donkey preparations usually include the plant's root, which contains the highest concentration, of the bioactive compounds responsible for its therapeutic effects. Both traditional Chinese medicine and Western herbal tradition have long used black cohosh to reduce pain and calm the nervous system. So traditional Chinese medicine has turned to black cohosh to reduce musculoskeletal pain and spasms, support liver function, support the nervous system, tonify the kidney and uterus. While Western traditional herbal tradition uses black cohosh in similar ways, specifically to reduce pain associated with arthritis and muscle problems, menstruation, including cramps, nervous spasms related to pain, and symptoms of premenstrual syndrome, so known as PMS, including headaches and body aches. So black cohosh has been used as a, painkiller, so to say, for a lot of different areas of the body to help eliminate the pain associated with cramps and such. A revered herb for easing symptoms of menopause and perimenopause is ginseng, as we were just talking about white American ginseng, and Dr. Unity did such a great job of helping us learn the difference between the different ginsengs that are out there and why this one is a more cooling one and more beneficial for everybody across the board. Ginseng has been used to improve overall health, reduce stress, boost energy, and enhance the immune system. And ginseng is said to function as an adaptogen, an agent that promotes the resistance to external and internal stresses and improves both physical and mental faculties. Ginseng may offer other benefits, including reduced risk of certain cancers, hypertension, diabetes, improved sexual function, and reduced risk of common cold. So what I love so much about learning about each ingredient in a product is that I get to learn that each ingredient in here has so many different things that's going to help me with besides just the properties that it can help with for during the hormone balancing. It can also help with so many other things that I might be dealing with, such as pain or cramps or other areas of stress and other hormone factors that come into play. And so all of these ingredients have so many benefits, which is just phenomenal. So another ingredient in here, one of my favorites, is a flowering legume called red clover. It is rich in phytoestrogens called isoflavones that process an estrogen-like structure to help activate estrogen receptors. Over the past several decades, red clover has become known as a top healing herb and herbal supplement. Traditionally used to balance hormones, red clover isoflavones may also help treat menopause symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, improve bone mineral density, and lower the risk of osteoporosis and heart-related problems like high cholesterol and high blood pressure symptoms. Research shows that adults taking red clover often experience overall improved satisfaction regarding many of the different symptoms of aging compared to placebos and even conventional medicines. I know that for myself, I was taking red clover tea when as a prenatal, like while I was pregnant and after I had the baby. It's a really great herb for women in general. And you can find red clover leaf teas and things like that all over the place in health food stores and things. And it's so beneficial to our hormones. And so you can take it in more than one way. You can take it, as a tea. You can also take it in our menopositive product, as well as, there's so many ways that you can get that herb into your life. It's really easy to come by, and it's really beneficial to all of us as women. So menopause is like an autumn leaves falling. It's natural shedding of the old to make way for the new. Patricia Atkinson. So there's so many different lifestyle transformations that we can recommend to you as you get started with the menopositive. But really the main thing is to look at what your current lifestyle is and how you want to see those transitions happen. And I love that quote in there that said, let's love ourselves more, let's really give ourselves the love, because this is a phase of our life where most likely by the time we're going through menopause, we've likely possibly raised children, had babies, raised children, helped them to become young adults. And now we're going into another phase of life where we're now possibly having empty nest syndrome or other next phases of life, maybe becoming grandparents, different things like this. And so, it definitely is the next phase of life. And even if you haven't had children or had those opportunities, you've still been somebody that has possibly been a caregiver for those around you that you love, or maybe you've had the opportunity to do other things with your life. And now it's still this other transition, this next phase of life that you're going into, whether or not you've done those, more traditional becoming a parent and doing those things. Regardless, we still have phases of life, right? We still have our childhood, our adolescence, our adulthood, and now coming into this next phase it's really the next phase of adulthood, right? Where maybe we start to actually feel like, oh, now we're actually adulting. We've gone through all these trials and tribulations of having jobs and doing all these different things. And now we're actually honing in on knowing how to really take care of ourselves optimally, right? How to really care for those around us optimally, how to make the choices that most benefit our everyday life, right? We've finally maybe gotten our balance on life and, the different things that are happening in our everyday life. By now, hopefully, we're feeling really settled in, taking this next step in the next phase of our life. So there's so much that comes with that as we continue to grow. And nutrients is really at the base of it all, right? Getting the proper nutrients in our body is really the ground, laying the groundwork and laying the foundation for the optimal life that we're going to live. And how old do we want to become, right? How long do we want to live on this planet? Because like we've mentioned earlier, we're constantly inundated with toxic chemicals and things all around our environment that are affecting our health and affecting our hormones. And so the more we can detox those environmental toxins, then the better likelihood we can have that optimal health throughout the rest of our life. So I would love to hear if anybody here has currently used this menopositive product. I would love to just hear a little bit about your experience, how it tastes, how you used it, if you've added it into your shake, if you've had it just with water on its own or as a tincture dropped into your mouth. I know that several of you have already received this incredible product in the mail. I've been watching your reels and resharing some of them through our Million Mom Movement platform. And I'd love to just hear from anybody that has been using this incredible product, just even if you don't have a full testimonial around it yet, because it's so new, just sharing what your experience is so far, I think would be really encouraging for those that are still learning about it and wondering if this is something that they want to try in their next shopping cart. So if anybody would like to raise your hand, I'd love to hear from you, hear from how this product is benefiting you in your daily life so far. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Raise your hand if you want to share. And Allison, when you're ready, I'd love to have you come on and share as well. Boo, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Thanks for raising your hand.
Hi, thank you for all the information here. So I haven't yet tried it. However, I have a question. Maybe someone who has tried it can answer, or maybe you know, Nieva. I'm thinking of I've ordered it, and I'm thinking of putting it in my tart cherry juice and drinking it at night. If Dr. Unity's on, or if anyone knows, would that be a good combination? And is nighttime a good time to take it? Thank you.
That's a great question, Boo. I would say I think it would be a great time to take it, although I have not yet taken it myself or received it. The mail takes a little longer here in Hawaii. But I am excited to try it. And I do think that that would be, a satisfactory way to take it. But let's hear what anybody else has to say about it. Brooke, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, I don't see Brooke on screen. Martha, I'm going to go over to you. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
I have yet to be able to take it myself, but I know, just like you, red clover has been something that I purposely have planted in my yard just so I can have that medicine I know has worked for my great-grandmother, my mother, and other women in my family. So I'm personally looking forward to all of this. And I've heard great things about Dong Quai. I've heard great things about chasteberry. I've heard, and I'm completely amazed and full of love with the fact that David has put this together for us. And I know it's just like one right after another. We have the pineal clear, and now this as well. And it's like I've got the pineal clear, and I've been using it, and I've had such amazing transformations in myself and in my sleep. And then I'm thinking, okay, what else did David make? Okay, David made this. And to know that any female of childbearing age, even if a female starts their cycle at 9, she can partake in this. And as Dr. Unity said, a couple of drops, and knowing and teaching our daughters to be more in tune with themselves and realizing, Mom, I may need a couple of more drops of that. I'm getting a little cranky butt, and, being open and honest with these changes, and knowing that the only females that shouldn't take this are ones that are pregnant and or breastfeeding. That means that even women who are in their 80s, 90s, in their hundreds, they can use this. And I see Boo laughing. My great grandma died at 105. I claim 120 at least. Okay. And I don't know. That's right. We see a bunch of people with those raised hands, and we know that long life is a possibility. And we don't have to deal with all that emotional up and down. Guys, this David did it again. And I know that we are all looking forward to it. And we're all looking forward to going through life on an even keel. And everybody here, we've already been working on that gut issue. We're all been doing the whole brain thing. And now to have this on the platter to be able to use and to partake in, synergistically, all of these put together is just mind blowing. And I'm waiting just a little bit to get mine, but it's coming. It's coming. Thank you, Nevaeh.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I mean, I love that you also shared that this is for all ages, right? There's a certain phase of life when we're going through menopause, but these herbs are good for us throughout our entire life. We always have hormones that are affecting us from the time, we hit 10 years old onwards. And so it's so great to have something so simple and effective. And what I love about all the products at Purium is that they're all plant-based. So you can look at each ingredient, you can look into each ingredient if you want to, like we did today, and find out what each ingredient does and how it works synergistically in your body so that you can feel confident in using it for yourself or your loved ones. And so thank you so much, Marty, for sharing that, that we can take it throughout our whole life from young women onwards. Really potent information. I appreciate it. Would love to hear from anybody else if you've been using the product or if you have another takeaway from the past presentation about this product. We'd love to hear from you.
I think Boo has her hand, so I'll go after, but I'd love to share at the end. But I think, is that right? Does Boo have her hand up there?
She may still, I think she already shared. So let me lower the hand. I didn't do so well at doing that. Go ahead, Allison, and then we'll go ahead and bring Lori and Laura on as our guests.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't here. We've just been traveling and up and down a little bit. So I'm glad I could just catch a little bit of this call. But I personally, I just got it 3 days ago. I'm just so excited about it. Like that, I just turned 40. And I feel this couldn't have come at a better time. And not that like you have to be a certain age to take it, because there's benefits for all stages, which I love. It's just herbal, botanical goodness. So it's just good stuff, beneficial for everyone on so many levels, but it happens to really support women during this time of, that I'm entering. So I'm so grateful that I get to be starting the season of my life with this. And I just can't wait to see what it does, because I feel the energy just from putting it into my water every night, and I'm adding it with my pineal clear, and I like the taste of it. I love the taste, actually. It kind of makes it taste better because the pineal clear, I mean, it's amazing, the benefits, but it's not as tasty. And I find this adds something my body wants a lot. So I'm really excited about it. These shares have been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison, for sharing. I love that it came out on your birthday, and happy birthday to you. And yeah, that you're getting to experience it right away is so phenomenal. And if you want to share a little bit about, you mentioned like the taste compared to the pineal clear, which is very earthy. And I'm assuming this one's more like a tea kind of a flavor with the herbs that are in it. Would you say that's kind of like the flavor profile is like a yummy herbal tea?
Hang on, it's floral a little bit. So like, let me just have you. Let me have some and give you my exact experience. I haven't had it straight like that. It's herbal. Yeah, kind of bitter, but like there's a sweet undertone, very earthy. Just feels it's a beautiful flavor. I think that's the note of the one that's kind of like the ginseng, like has that, yeah, that's good on its own. And if you just put a few drops under your tongue, your body absorbs. I mean, they recommend it in water, so take it as recommended, but I know a few drops under your tongue every like now and then to just, I know it absorbs, and you can just drink water along with it if it's too strong, but yeah, it's beautiful.
Wonderful. I love that. Yeah. And I think that recommendation of putting it under your tongue is really beneficial, especially if you're taking it for pain. Like if you're PMSing or cramping or anything like that, and you're wanting to really have like an effect fairly quickly, that's where it absorbs the quickest is under your tongue. So I love that recommendation. Thank you so much, Allison. And we do have a few hands up, and we'll get to you too, Boo. I see you raised your hand again. Thank you. Lori, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you if you'd like to share.
Hi, everybody. Good to see so many people.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you. Sorry about that.
Okay. So I was going to say that somebody had asked about taking it and when to take it. First of all, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in that I am so glad that it can be taken at all ages, because I sure could have used this when I was in my preteen teens. I really, really needed this. And then the part about taking it, like doctor was saying and such, take a couple drops. Like, people have to build up. Your body has to build up to the use of the herbals that you're using, or anything, if food, whatever, our bodies have to change and build up. So in the morning, we do need, there's some of us, like I could have used it in the morning, and then maybe occasionally in the afternoon, and then in the evening. And I wouldn't take it right before bed. You should be taking your tart cherry a little bit before you go to bed, so it starts absorbing in and you're getting your proper relaxation. But I would work up throughout the day and start out with one little drop or one little drop in something to drink, and drink it in the morning. And if you don't know where your hormone levels are, maybe you want to get them checked. Or I know how to do that by just asking a few questions, and you guys can contact me if you want to. I do biological markers. I've done this for several years, so there's no obligation to be with me or anything. I just, I can kind of help you out a little bit and guide you, and you could go on your way. But I was just going to say, just work up throughout the day, or maybe you only need it in the evening, or maybe you only need it in the morning, depending on how your body is working and taking stressors in and stuff. So, and
Wonderful. Thank you.
I haven't got mine yet. I'm waiting. I can't wait.
Oh, wonderful. I look forward to hearing what your review is once you get to use it for yourself as well. Thank you so much for that.
And my daughters are like starting to get excited about this, and they're like, okay, Mom, I think I'm ready. They told me that this last week. I have 3 daughters, and 2 of the 3 said, okay, we're ready to start and going down this path. So I'm excited.
Wonderful. Well, I love that. And you just never know what the lead-in product is going to be for any individual, right, Lori? So I love that your daughters are finally ready with this product coming out. It kind of nudged them to be like, okay, I'll try this thing that mom's doing, because I know it's going to help me with my PMS or my cramping or whatever the things are that they're going through with their hormones. But that's really the gateway to the rest of the plethora of nutritional products that we have, because let's face it, after we try one product and we start feeling better, then we want to try the next one and see how that one makes us feel. And then maybe we take some aminos or some super xanthan, or maybe we start having a power shake or other beneficial superfoods we have on hand. So
and I love Nevaeh, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And thank you for saying that, because I was also going to add in there that, okay, so I've gone through like everything, miscarriages, cancer, like everything. And with endometriosis and possibilities of miscarriage, I know from experience in the life that I've lived that having this in this product, the way it's combined right now, this is amazing. This is like this is the best on the market. I mean, I have literally all my life checked them out. And I believe that if this is used for the young female when they're young, that when, we need to pause maybe taking it when we're pregnant, that this is going to be that support and that build up for the body and that health for the body to help sustain that pregnancy very healthily enough that we can start seeing some of the decrease of the female disheartenings that we go through. So I truly, truly believe that.
Absolutely. Well, God bless you for everything that you've gone through. And thank you so much for coming on here and sharing some of your journey with us and about this product as well.
Thank you so much, everybody. Beautiful to see everybody.
Thank you, Lori. All right, Laura Port, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
Hi, I have the quickest share ever. I just wanted to mention for the friend who wanted to know if she could take it with her apothecary. So that's exactly how I've been taking it every night. In the evenings, I put it in with my apothecary, and it does give it kind of that earthy flavor. So it changes the flavor a little bit with the apothecary, but it's pleasant. So I'm still really enjoying it just as much. And I am staying in tune with what it's doing for me. There was another tincture I tried that didn't work for me, so I'm really like paying attention how this is working. And so far, nothing, like no negatives, hasn't affected my sleep as far as, with it working with the apothecary. I'm still sleeping really well, and I feel calm too. So, but I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on, the changes it's doing for me too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laura, for sharing that. And so, yeah, I mean, you can figure out what works best for you. Laura's taking it with her apothecary in the evening, and it's not affecting her energy levels or keeping her up at night. And then Lori was mentioning to take it earlier in the day due to the white American ginseng, possibly increasing your energy. So, with all of these herbs, the best is to try your own, try it on yourself and see how it works best for you. That way you can see if having it with your apothecary at night actually benefits you, or if it makes you more energized, then you might want to take it in the morning with your morning routine instead. So definitely seeing how it works best for you is really where it's at. And with all of these herbal supplements, it takes time sometimes to feel the full effects. So anything that's homeopathic, anything that's food nutrient based, sometimes we will see the effects immediately, but there are times where it takes a moment for our body to absorb the nutrients and have that realization really of the effects that it's having on our body. Even if it is having an effect right away, sometimes we don't feel it or see it right away until we have that aha moment of, oh wow, I actually am not needing a nap in the middle of the afternoon, or whatever those things are that maybe is a normal for us, that we start seeing that transition. So Boo, thank you so much for coming back on. I always love hearing your voice and seeing your face. Back to you.
Oh, thank you. And, thank you for everyone who just shared, because it's our voices matter. And no matter what anyone's saying, that your perspective matters. So I really appreciate what Lori shared about starting it with a little bit in the morning and working it up. I'm going to definitely try that. And thank you, Laura, for affirming that it works well with your tart cherry. So I love that. But the reason why I came on was because the lady who spoke right after me, she spoke about growing the red clover in her garden. And it reminded me that the reason I'm so excited about this is I'm a bit of a nutrition nerd. And, since my early 20s, I've been into nutrition and different things. So I was taking Dong Quai for my menstrual cycle, along with red clover and white American ginseng. And then we came out with the white American ginseng, and I absolutely love that. And I remember, Naeva, it does. I used to take it as my afternoon perk me up. So maybe taking it at night for me, because I'm very energized at night, might not be the best combo. So this community is just priceless. And I'm really grateful for this combination of herbs. And I think the name should change from menopositive, because it sets the wrong thing. This is for any woman. I've been taking a lot of these herbs in my 20s, 30s, and now into, later years. And so I love it. And the fact that what Naeva said is that it's definitely in alignment with a nutrition plan. So, as much as our daughters or our friends are going to say, oh yeah, that's the pivot product for me, I'm going to jump in with that. Let them know it works in synergy with the right nutrition, right hydration, mindfulness, and exercise. So but it's a great start, right? I think this is a pivotal product that we're going to be able to help a lot of women with, and that's our objective here, is to help. And once they see that effect, so I think share it, just share what you can. I video clips of these calls and repost them, and just see what pops up on our social media and even text it to a friend. I'm texting groups in England with this. I'm willing to send it to my friends in England because I feel that excited about it. So thank you, Nieva, for always being an amazing host, and Allison. I know you're kind of in the background today, but love your voice. I'm so happy to have you. All the work that you put into these calls, all of you ladies, it's priceless. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Boo, for coming on and sharing once again. And like you said, thank you to everyone who came and shared your voices on here today. This is really what our community is about. We really want to encourage you to come on here and raise your hand and share your testimonies, share your stories, and be a part of this community. Share your voices, loud and proud as a part of this community. And as you're sharing out there about this presentation or other things that you're passionate about, other products that you're passionate about, or experiences that you've had, don't be shy to hashtag the Million Mom Movement so we can share you and highlight you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this graph, Allison, I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Nieva, for all you do and for all your beautiful shares. Thank you so much, Boo, and everyone. Yeah, this is what Boo said, we need our voices. We need to share our voices. This is medicine. It doesn't come naturally for me either, but it is beautiful to do this with you guys. And thank you, Nieva. You always empower me and everyone. So thank you. Okay, so we want to go follow, and share our Facebook. Of course, we always have these calls there so you can share them with your friends and always be able to go and watch a replay. And like Boo said, just record a little segment that you like and then make a reel of it. I should do that more. So I'm telling myself as I tell you, but these are the reminders that we need sometimes. So go like our Instagram and use the hashtag and we will repost you. Nieva is so wonderful at seeing everyone and sharing, and we love to see your, bringing this really this is tip for everyone, this community. This is not exclusive. So we want to just invite so many people to learn about the Million Mom Movement and really feel a part of it. And this is what the world needs. So we want to go look at our YouTube. We always have our calls there. You can share them and subscribe. And then, we'll see you next week. This is a really exciting time. We can all share our excitement for this product because we're all going to be receiving it. I just did an unboxing and I got a lot of interest because I actually got a lot of customers since it's just sharing your excitement for it. And that's all people want to see. Like, why are you excited? And this is, just share your journey and your story. And we want to share this video with anyone that is a woman or knows a woman. So thank you, Nieva.
Thank you so much, Allison. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. So next week, we're actually going to be talking about the juice bar in a bag. So we'd love to invite you to come back next week, learn all about the products in a juice bar in a bag. If you have some favorite recipes or combos, start posting about it this week so I can share it on our social media and our stories and whatnot. But that's going to be our subject for next week. So please join us again next Friday. And like Allison mentioned, I love to repost you on our social media channels. So, whether it's in our stories or as an actual post on our Instagram and Facebook, we love to highlight you there. And then the other part of our community is our Facebook group. And we'd love to just expand that community. I hope each and every one of you are within that group. And that's where we repost the replays with any links that we've shared here today. So you can find past replays in there. But what I really want to encourage you to do is share your stories in there. If you're feeling shy to go live on your own personal social media, practice in our community group for the Million Mom Movement. Share your story, share your passion, share information about glyphosate on our food or the toxins and the chemicals and the preservatives that we're being inundated by, because that is our educational group. And you can invite your community there. You can invite all of your friends to join you in that group as you're talking to people and getting them interested. You can say, hey, I'm a part of this great group. Can I add you in? So I just want to encourage you all to use that group as your own personal community of other like-minded people and add more people in there. Let's grow that community strong. So thank you so much again for joining us here today. Have a beautiful weekend. This replay will be up shortly. And until next Friday, aloha for now, everyone.